Hey everyone, this is my A-Push video project, and we're going to see how the oil crisis of 1973 affected American car culture. During the 1960s, larger displacement engines were popular since fuel was substantially cheaper, so American cars experienced significant popularity, by far outselling both Japanese and European imports. So what caused the American car market to transform into the one we know today? Full of imports and stricter regulations on engine output, well, factors such as the 1973 American oil crisis and the Environmental Protection Agency would forever affect the standards in the United States. The oil crisis of 1973 single-handedly and permanently changed American car culture to widening the public's perception on imports. Caused by conflict in the Middle East, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC for short, placed an embargo with the United States. So prices of gas skyrocketed and people began looking for alternatives to their American gas guzzlers. For example, a 1970 Cadillac Eldorado measured 18 feet long and averaged only 9 miles per gallon. These enormous and highly inefficient American land yachts faded in popularity as the gas shortage carried on throughout the decade. As a result, oil crisis had changed manufacturers' philosophy to focusing on gas efficiency. So by the mid-1970s, American cars had nearly half the engine displacement, cylinders, and power than their 1960s counterparts. This was not only caused by shortage of gas, but also environmental concerns, leading to the development of the EPA, or Environmental Protection Agency, which meant that cars produced after 1973 had to be equipped with a catalytic converter and had to pass a smog check every other year. With these new regulations, manufacturers scrambled to comply, resulting in restrictions on handling and horsepower. Since power and performance was on a chokehold in domestic cars, fuel-efficient Japanese and European imports had looked to be popular. Even the greatest performance cars of the 1960s, such as the Ford Mustang, had downsized from a 5-liter V8 boasting over 230 horsepower to measly 2.6-liter V6, which was the highest option, pushing only 105 horsepower. So let's take a look at one of the best performance cars that arose from these trivial times, a 1973 Datsun 240Z. So we have one of my good friends here today, and he has one of the best performance cars of the 1970s. So why don't you tell us about yourself?
My name is Minh. This is my 1973 Datsun 240Z. It's probably one of the most iconic Japanese sports cars back in the 70s.
Alright, Minh. So what do you like most about your 240Z?
I like that it has nice, clean lines, very simplistic looking, but still iconic. I wanted a kind of a cheaper Japanese import car, sports car, two-seater. This kind of fit the bill for everything. They've looked at American cars, but this is the one I ended up choosing.
Let's talk a little bit more about your car. So what engine mods have you done to the car?
So it actually has a L28 motor from a 280ZX, has ITBs, has triple Infinity carburetors on it, headers, full exhaust and all that. My favorite mod is probably the triple carbs. It sounds amazing, performance-wise, it feels great. One of the highlights of the car for sure.
I think that's enough talking for now. Let's go with Minh and take a drive in this car. Quote-unquote muscle cars were no longer what they used to be. Imports such as the Datsun 240Z and BMW 2002 grew in popularity. As such, European and Japanese manufacturers had already been accustomed to costly fuel prices, so they engineered their cars to perform with these limitations. Even standard commuter cars such as the Honda Civic and Toyota Corona, later the Corolla in the US, average over 35 miles per gallon, nearly double of American offerings. Subsequently, Japanese and European imports surged in popularity in the US and impacted the American market, as imports made up a little less than 50% of American car sales by 1974. Primarily caused by the oil crisis and EPA, the American automotive industry would be altered to include imports, which make up over 40% of the total market today. So the next time you take a look out on the streets, think the oil crisis for all the Toyotas, Hondas, Audis, BMWs out on the roads.